Greetings to my beloved Tabernacle Church family. God bless you. I greet you with the joy of Jesus Christ, and I hope and pray that you are safe, and I hope and pray that you are well. Once again, we love you, and we appreciate your support and your faithfulness in what has been a very trying and difficult and uncertain year. But tonight we are engaged because in the midst of all that's going on, God has graced our church. This year, 2020, and all of its ups and downs, truly has been a year where we've seen the favor of God in unexpected and unprecedented ways. And so tonight, our aim is that we're going to share about what this year was, but we're also going to lay down some vision for 2021. Some things we want to share with you. As you see, we're now in our newly renovated Tab West location, and we'll share more information about that as we've seen God move in ways, honestly, that none of us would have known as we saw this year begin. So tonight, my aim, as I share some of the vision about what we've done and where we're going, you're also going to hear some reports tonight. Our Ministries report, our Congregational care report, and our Operations report. I hope that you will be engaged, take a lot of notes, and note that your church is very serious about continuing to build up the kingdom of God and also be an impactful church. Well, let's think about what 2020 was for us. The year 2020, honestly, was the year that we talked about the year of clarity. And as we began this year, who would have thought for the first couple of months as things were just going along so well until finally the world came to a halt as we saw ourselves in the midst of a global pandemic. I know for you, I could not remember, but it's been almost 8-9 months since we've had in-person worship. The last time we gathered was on a Sunday, in the second Sunday of March. We had our second night of our March Gladness Revival, and then things shifted, and we had to go totally virtual. And we saw us kind of expedite what we call our Tab Global experience. And so 2020 has brought some things that way. Not only do we have the global pandemic, but we also had social unrest and racial injustice that permeated what we were going through during the summer. And we've had perhaps one of the most craziest political seasons we've ever seen, as we now move to a different administration. But with all that being done, and I thank you for your faithfulness and your patience, you've been able to allow us to see a lot of things be manifested. This year, we wanted to still focus on doing ministry. And I want to share some things that we've been able to accomplish, even though we've been totally virtual. Some of the things we've been able to accomplish is our Tab Global. We're grateful for our multimedia team and also our technology and also our marketing that was able to allow us to move forward to a totally virtual space. Went from 5 services and 2 locations to now being 1 location, Tab Global, with our 9, 11, and 5 o'clock services. Thank you so much for your ability to just show up, engage with us. We have people all across the world that worship with us. It's amazing testimonies of people who've been calling in, watching, sharing their stories, and also praying and also giving. Tab Global has been a tremendous success for us this year. Not only with Tab Global, but we also wanted to make sure that we're doing our best to impact our community. One of our major initiatives this year was our Hope Seed. Our Hope Seed offering, initially over the last few years, is what we would do during our Lent season, as we would take a financial kind of fast. We'll raise that money, we'll take it together and pour into our community. This year, we understood that this global pandemic was not just a health crisis, but also an economic crisis. And so right there in the spring, we were able to be a blessing. We were able to raise over $60,000 that we're able to pour into 40 African-American small businesses. Thank you for your generosity. It was such a tremendous hit, and people were blessed on that time. They was also able to do it in the fall. We just recently had our second Hope Seed offering. We were able to bless 4 great entities within our local community who was helping others. And we once again thank you for your benevolence. We thank you for your generosity. You have been so good and so kind. And once again, we look forward to sowing future seeds into our community and beyond through our Hope Seed offering. Not only was our Hope Seed offering, but we also wanted to make sure that we are very serious about our outreach. And so this year, we did a variety of things called Tab Cares. Tab Cares is our outreach initiatives. That's what we do to be able to share and sow into our community. As you can see, it started with the lunch boxes for Richmond County schools. As they shut down in March, we wanted to make sure that our students still had access to food. Also, we did lunch boxes and snacks to first responders. We were able to go to the emergency medical technicians and also to our firehouses, and we're able to bless them. Thank you for your generosity. We also were able to go to the to the hospitals and within our community, our first responders, our essential workers. We're able to be a blessing to them. Thank you so much. But also our back to school supplies. We know that's a big thing for us every year. And you allowed us to be able to help over 500 students this year with back to school supplies. But also not only for our students, but we realized it was a major shift as our schools had to go back and forth between totally virtual or hybrid or in person. But we want to be a blessing to our teachers. So this year, we was able to bless close to 250 teachers. It was close to $15,000 we were able to give out in gift cards to those who were teachers. Now, that's not just local, but also to bless so many teachers throughout this country. And that's because we truly care. Not only did we have our teacher appreciation, but also in November, our canned food drive, we was able to bless 4 great entities within our community as we partnered with them in giving them what they needed to function effectively in this season. But then also, we just recently did our rescue mission holiday meal. Even though we were not able to fellowship with our Thanksgiving dinner and worship with the pastor, we were able to do it virtually with our Cooking with PG. I hope you enjoyed it. But one of the main things we did was to make sure that we be a blessing to our less fortunate brothers and sisters in our community. And so we're so grateful that we was able to feed over 100 people at our rescue mission. And yes, we got one more Tab Cares initiative to go as we're collecting toys this year because we want to be a blessing, as we all do every year when it comes to Toyland. So this year, we're doing a drop-off, and we're excited for the many people who will be blessed. So once again, thank you for your benevolence, your charity, and your generosity. But in the midst of all that, not only have we seen God move in our ability to do outreach, but also God has grown us. God has allowed over 300 persons to become partners with our church. Yes, you heard it correctly. In a year where the building has been closed, but the church has been going, we've had over 300 persons to join our fellowship. That's incredible. That's something worth giving God praise for. That means that our database is over now 10,000 partners that are able to connect with us. And we're excited for all those who continually look upon us as sources of inspiration and hope and encouragement. Once again, thank you to all of our new members. We appreciate you. We pray for you. And we asking God continually bless you in this upcoming year. With that being said, as we look at 2020 and how God is blessed in the midst of a global pandemic, let's look forward to 2021. This year, 2021, is going to be the year of expansion. You heard it right. I still believe that God is going to move us out and to do new things in 2021. I believe that the best is still yet in front of us. What does it mean? The 3-part initiative. We're going to reset, we're going to research, and we're going to restart. You heard it correctly. In order for us to enlarge, and that's not just physically, I'm talking about in every area of our lives, from spiritually, mentally, yes, in so many different ways. As we're getting on the other side of this pandemic, as we're going through some things that we need to do in order to expand what we do for the kingdom of God, I'm believing that this is the year of expansion. We had to go through 2020 to get clarity, and man, we got that. But 2021 is the year of expansion. There's 3 things I want to focus on for the upcoming year. The first thing we're going to focus on, of course, is Operation Remerge. We're going to figure out what it looks like when we get back to in-person worship. I know that's a question on many of your minds. And once again, as we stated when this first began back in March, our number one priority is the safety of our congregation. And so we've had to make some difficult decisions. There may have been moments where we felt as if perhaps this could have been a good time to try, but listening to the health experts, we said if we cannot create a totally safe environment, then we wouldn't want to do it. We had a great team that put together our reentry plan, and that was done right there around May and June. But yet we felt as the numbers kept going, as we saw this virus became politicized, we didn't feel like it was the right time. But we will be getting back to in-person worship. We can hopefully, off the 2021, get on the other side of the vaccine and other things that we're looking at. Our chief aim is not just to get back to in-person, but how can we remerge? How can we bring them together, our in-person and our virtual church? God has graced us in an incredible way with that. So listen, we'll still be looking out, seeing when the best times to do it. Thank you for your support. And we will be back together fellowshipping and worshiping in 2021. I believe that. I don't have a definitive date, but I thank you again for your patience as we move forward to see how God is going to grace us in 2021. But not only Operation Remerge, that's important. We already have the plan in place. It's just finding the right timing. But number 2, we are going to move forward with Tab North. Many of you know last year was our aim to plant our third location. God had graced us. Matter of fact, the week that we had to shut down our buildings and our facilities was a week that we'd already moved forward to sign the contract for our Tab North facility right there in South Carolina. Well, thanks be to God. We were able to get some grace by those who owned the property that allowed us to be able to lease the property. And so they elongated the contract with us, and now we're going to move forward. So by the time we get back in-person worship, we'll not only have Tab Main, not only have Tab West, but we also have Tab North. We're excited for that. Tab North will be a Saturday 5 o'clock service. And so at some point when we get everything back in our operation remerge, we'll be moving into our third location. And we're grateful for all that God is going to do as we continue to make an impact in Richmond County, in Columbia County, and in Aiken County, and yes, even through our global platforms. God is going to do some incredible things. I believe that we're going to expand our vision, expand the things that we do in 2021. And the third thing we're going to focus on this year is what we're calling 135 plus one church anniversary. This year, 2020, was supposed to be our 135th church anniversary, but we were in a global pandemic. But we take every 5 years as an important year to highlight what Tabernacle has meant to so many people, especially in our community and beyond. Listen, we couldn't do what we typically done, and we had a tremendous anniversary scheduled up. But listen, what we're going to do is we're going to do it next year. It's going to be 135 plus one church anniversary. We want to make sure that we celebrate and highlight all the wonderful things that Tabernacle has meant and what Tabernacle shall continually do and make an impact in the future. Those are our three things that we're going to look forward to in 2021, the year of expansion. Once again, Operation Remerge, also our Tab North, and then also our 135 plus one church anniversary. Be on the lookout for all these things. We'll be giving you more information as we move into 2021, the year of expansion. At this time, I want to share with you from our Dream Team's perspective some of the things that we've done in 2020 and some of our plans for 2021. Now we're going to have our Ministries report, and I'm so grateful for Reverend Jefferson, who does an incredible job with her team in helping to outline the programmatic structure of our church. And at this time, I want her to share what we've experienced in 2020 from a ministry perspective and what we can look forward to in 2021.
Good evening, Tab family. I am excited to bring you your 2020 Ministries report. As Pastor has mentioned, in the midst of COVID, we had so much going on. And because we had many things in place, a great media team and the technology, we were able to pivot very well. And we were able to bring all our signature events to you virtually. We started in April as we celebrated Pastor's 13th pastor anniversary, as we got him in a multi-purpose room with a DJ and just able to connect with you through our social media outlets. We were also able, as Pastor mentioned, we had many people come in and join our family during this COVID pandemic, and we were able to reach them and to do our MPOs virtually. And that was a great opportunity for them to connect and see Pastor and connect and see our exec team. So it was just an awesome opportunity to be able to use technology and to use the strength of our media team and to make everything virtual. You saw all the things we did, even from graduation, recognizing our graduates, even in the summer when we did our events with our youth, our Pretty Girl Rock, our barbershop, as well as Vacation Bible School. But I do want to highlight just three of our ministries who just did a great job in pivoting as well. Our small groups who went fully virtual and were able to maintain our fellowship moment and allow us to connect with one another and to create that connectivity with our congregation. Also, our prayer ministry, amen, they started a prayer call and we were able to pray. They had at least 30 people on that call every Tuesday night, and I appreciate y'all for coming in and continuing your discipleship of prayer. I also want to give a shout out to our ministries who helped fundraise our gift card money for all our teacher appreciations that went out. Pastor talked about all the many teachers that we were able to help globally, and that was a big part because our ministries helped to fundraise within themselves. So kudos to our ministries who just, in the midst of COVID, pivot very well. We thank you for your sacrifice and your continued ability to give and to act in godly manner. We just thank you so much. With that said, we're looking forward to 2021. As Pastor said, there is a lot coming up as we think about about Reemerge, as we think about Tab North, there's going to be a lot of things in ministry we're going to have to rethink and reprocess. We're going to have to look at how do we maintain our live events as well as our new virtual family. What does that all look like together? We're going to have to expand our notion of what ministry looks like at Tabernacle. And I'm excited I'm going to be able to do that with you. Many of you have called and texted and messaged us about, I'm bored, I want to help, I want to, be a service to Tabernacle, because you're so used of serving. And so we're going to be able to create more serving opportunities for you to serve virtually as well in 2021. There's so many things that we're looking forward to ministry-wise of coming to you virtually. And then, of course, upon COVID and upon whatever else is going on with the vaccine and those different type of things, and we'll look at in person, as Pastor had mentioned. But we're excited because there's still a plan, and we still have many things in store for you from the ministry fort. And so I just thank you for your continued support. I thank you for always being there and looking at us on our social media outlets. You're just doing an awesome job, Tab, and I love you, and I am so appreciative of the energies that you continue to bring and the love you continue to show. Thank you so much for the love you've done in 2020 as we look forward to 2021. Bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Z. We really appreciate what you and your team has done. First of all, again, I want to just tell you from the very depths of my heart how grateful I am for so many of our servant leaders that really stepped up and did some incredible work this year. I know it has not been easy. I know it has been some rough patches. I know many of you missed the fellowship of church. But once again, I thank you for being wise. I thank you for being faithful. I thank you for being impactful partners with us. And I still believe the best is yet to come. And so as we look forward to doing work in 2021, let's continue to keep the main thing the main thing. As we think about that, one of the hallmarks of our church, not only our dynamic worship, but also our ability to care for one another. As we've grown large, one of the challenges that we have as a church and leadership is that we want to be small enough to care for one another. And this pandemic has stretched us, but also, I think, has brought out some of the highlights of our church. Out of all that we've done, I want to be known as a caring church. And I'm grateful for our congregational care team, led by Reverend Dr. Wanda Richardson. She's going to share now our congregational care report.
Congregational care stands in the gap as we support our pastor and our members. And I'm going to tell you, this has been a year. Who would have known that we would have a pandemic? But you know what? Even in the midst of that, we were able to keep our focus on our 2020 initiative, which is mental health. And we all know now how important that is, as we have been quarantined and isolated from people. So even with that, we have been able to partner with the local counseling agency and center. We've been able to do and give that support, telehealth, telecare. So we're so grateful for that. But even that, we have members, we have mental health professionals in our church that we've turned to help us provide that care. We are so blessed to have an amazing diaconate. I'm telling you, they were calling their tribal members each and every week. They were going by with drive-by ministry, checking on them, dropping off packages, and finding out what they needed in terms of benevolence. We're just so grateful that we have so many people at this church that truly, truly care. And yes, we had to shift to virtual. That means that all of our small groups had to shift to virtual. We are so thankful that we have nationally, internationally acclaimed groups, and we also have them biblically based and centered by way of grief share and divorce care, because we had so many people that suffered losses, relatives and friends, losses of routines, so many people that had friends and family in the hospitals, and so many people that even stood to say goodbye at graveside. And yes, we supported our pastor at each and every one of those graveside services. So we've had just really a challenge this year, but God has continued to be faithful as we've continued to meet those needs. We have what's called here Stephen Ministry, and it too is internationally acclaimed. We have at this time 96 Stephen ministers, and we're so excited to bring in 9 new Stephen ministers, and we will have them commissioned in 2021. I'll tell you, this has been a year, but I believe in 2021, the best is yet to come. Our focus will be and continues to be mental health and how to expand that in the community and how to help our people in the church and how to navigate these waters. So stay tuned because we're going to need your help.
Thank you again, Reverend Dr. Richardson, and I really appreciate all that you and your team has done through our diaconate, through our associate ministers, through our Stephen ministers, and also those great partners of our church. All of us have been deputized this year to make sure that we check on one another, and so I really appreciate the work you're doing. Also, a major shout out to our diaconate as we added some new deacons this year, and also to some new ministers that we licensed. God is still growing our team and still growing our efforts and our work together. And as we look in 2021, as Reverend Dr. Richardson had said, we're going to focus on mental health. And also, I know that this has been a hard season as far as navigating grief. And so we're going to be there for you, walking this journey with you. Once again, we make care and fellowship a major part of our ministry. Not only has our ministries done well in congregational care, but also our operations team has done an incredible job. It's led by Reverend Michael Woods, and he's going to share now our operations report.
Thank you, Dr. Goodman, and welcome to this space, TAB family. We welcome you into this space here at our West Campus. As has already been mentioned, COVID-19 has made an immense impact upon how we do ministry and how you view ministry virtually. One of the things that we're excited to have done was to be able to pivot after that second Sunday in March, and with the help of an awesome multimedia team, which we salute to this day, the tremendous work that they've done to assist us in shifting from an in-person worship space to a virtual space. In our main sanctuary at our main campus, we've renovated that space so that you can have an awesome online worship experience. We have upgraded our cameras, our sound system, even our LED screen so that you can have the most impactful worship experience that we can possibly provide you in this worship space. Also, when you make your way back to some sense of emergence, you'll also see some additional upgrades. One of the things we did was to replace the carpet on our second level. You'll find that there's new carpet now placement between the entrance to our main sanctuary space all the way back to our elevator and even to our restrooms. And so that aesthetically looks extremely pleasing, and we were grateful to be able to provide those services. In our West Campus, again, where we're broadcasting from, we made some adjustments and some upgrades so that this site can now be a broadcast space as well. So moving forward into 21, you'll have an opportunity to have a virtually worship experience, not only from our main campus, but now also from our West Campus as well. As you can see, we've extended our staging out to assist better with our camera angles. We've upgraded on our cameras as it relates to our robotic cameras and our floor cameras. We've also added, as you can see, a beautiful LED backwall screen. And so all of this is to give you, again, a wonderful virtual worship experience from our West Campus. Again, there's also been cited from Pastor's vision for multiple sites. As we move into 2021, our Tab North campus will be coming online. We're extremely pleased with this 9,000 square foot property that we've been able to acquire over this year, thanks to your generosity. That space will be soon renovated. And as Pastor already talked about, as we begin the reemerge process, it would also include our North campus. We are excited and we are extremely grateful for your financial contributions, your encouragement, your support, as we've been trying to manage this COVID-19 process. But I want you to know that as all the excitement that's been going on outside, that your TAB family, your staff have been working very furiously on the inside. And we've been pleased to bring you all of these changes so that when you return back to campus, we pray that you're pleased with what God has been able to do through you. So again, thank you. And on behalf of all of our staff, we're extremely grateful.
Thank you so much, Reverend Woods. We appreciate what our operational staff has done, and that includes not only finances, but our multimedia, our marketing, our technology, our facilities, and everyone that works together. Once again, we have an incredible team that I am so honored to partner with in this walk of purpose. And so once again, to the staff that works hard, thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been a year of extremes, but I'm so grateful for so many of you that stepped up. I still believe, by faith, that the best is yet to come. So once again, Tab family, thank you again for tuning in as we're now getting ready to turn the calendar on 2020, the year of clarity. And my God, did we get focused this year to see a whole lot of stuff into the year 2021, the year of expansion. I believe by faith that we're going to reset, we're going to research, and we're going to restart. I believe the best is still yet to come. So once again, thank you for engaging with us. I look forward to continued ministry, continue to be safe, continue to keep God first, and continue to know that we are committed to being a church making an impact.